Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to head into the next game of the evening, morning, night, or wherever you are. We're actually already in the game itself, so let's pull up the overlay. And apparently the overlay did not switch completely, so I need to update it immediately. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Everything is working. It's going to be Dwa1n playing against Fizdarth. Fizdarth wielding his Druid deck, and Dwa1n wielding what looks to be the rogue deck that we all know and love with the Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil. Fizdarth, an interesting setup for his initial hand. Double Wild Growth coming out. That's going to allow him to drop the Pilot Destroyer next turn. Maybe drop another one the turn after. Plus add to that the coin for a wild growth and bringing up to 7 on turn 4. So, correction, turn 5. So yeah, SI Agent coming out for Dwa1n here at this point, and just Dwa1n setting up for the combo with the Tinker Sharp Sword. So Fizdarth most likely going to be dropping the Shredder here. Well, the other option is just take out his minion. If Dwa1n is dropping his SI7 Agent, then most likely he's going to be relying on that in order to get that combo going. So Innervate being used to immediately drop the Pilot Shredder as well. So smart move here by Fizdarth. He's already reading his opponent. And oh my word, Dwa1n having so much power already here. Fizdarth, can he make anything happen? Because right now we have 7 additional damage on the dagger next turn. Of course, he can't play that yet. He doesn't have the he doesn't have the preparation yet. If he gets preparation, then it's going to be even more powerful. Still, Sylvanas Runner. Actually, Fan of Lives is also not all that bad. So I'm expecting Dwa1n to go all in onto Fizdarth's face. And just save it up for that Tinker Sharp Sword Oil. Unless he wants to go for it right now. It's also not too shabby, to be honest. Bring in the oil here. Going to deal some initial damage, taking him down quite a notch. And then next turn, he can follow it up with another Deadly Poison, an attack, and a Blade Flurry. So Fizdarth will have to deal with this Pilot Shredder, and whatever comes out of it is going to make Fizdarth's life a little bit less happy. However, this was a pretty decent turn for Dwa1n. You would normally save it up a little bit longer, but then again, at this point, it's just all about the beatdown. Dwa1n, he's the combo deck, he wants to get that combo down, and Fizdarth, all he has to do right now is just sit back and enjoy the ride. So, Sylvanas going to be trading with this Pilot the Shredder here. Pilot the Shredder immediately bring in the Millhouse Mana Storm, which has a pretty big drawback if it wasn't just summoned right there. So, a lot of damage now going straight to the face of Dwa1n, bringing him down to 21. And with a Wicked Knife that deals 8 damage, we have the Blade Flurry. Finally, preparation comes out, so he could theoretically, I would imagine, first attacking with before you use the Blade Flurry. That's interesting, to say the least. I don't think that was really the plan. Oh wait, you can't attack, of course. Yeah, that's the issue. That's of course the issue. He already, because of the fact that he already used his attack on his dagger, it only had one durability left, and as a result, he could never have attacked and then use the combo with the Blade Flurry. The issue though is that now it's going to be very hard for Dwa1n to actually get there. I would imagine him to just drop the preparation here onto the Fan of Knives. But apparently that's not going to be the case. So Dwa1n just going to be clearing out that taunt, and Fizdarth is in a pretty good position right now. You can just sit back and most likely not die to whatever Dwa1n is going to be tossing at him just yet. It's just going to be piling on the pressure, just going to make sure that Dwa1n doesn't get any turns whatsoever. And what Dwa1n can do right now, backstabbing this Shadow Boxer here, following it up with a Fan of Knives. And see if that's maybe Preparation Fan of Knives? Yeah, he has to backstab this one. Preparation Fan of Knives. That's going to give him a free card. Let's see what boils out of that one. Okay, so Blade Flurry now also being used here. Blade Flurry coming out from Dwa1n and dropping the low tap. And Fizdarth, well, while he was in a somewhat of a good position, Dwa1n using all of his resources just to get that low tap onto the battlefield, and Fizdarth can't do anything about low tap at this point. So what I would imagine is that he's just going to be using his heroic ability, attacking Dwa1n for now. He does not want to be attacking low tap, and hoping that Dwa1n does not draw anything that will deal damage to Fizdarth. And Fizdarth needs an Ancient of War to get himself some healing back. And then follow it up with a few taunts. Maybe that's going to be helping Fizdarth out here. So, Dwa1n dropping the Eviscerate. And that's not quite game just yet, but it's bringing him close. Only 2 health points remain. And Dwa1n is just going to be saving that Eviscerate to combo that one with another card. So, Fizdarth, he's going to have to rely on getting himself some something that taunts. So scenarios will work. The issue though is if this is anything on the side of Dwa1n, yeah, he's always going to draw a card. So the combo will always be there. Eviscerate immediately killing him off, and Dwa1n going down 1. So that's a little bit of a very strong start here for Dwa1n. First game in the best of 5 going his way. So yeah, at first there were some things that seemed a little bit off, but of course you have to, sometimes the combos change a little bit, especially with the Blade Flurry. You can only, especially if you're using your dagger, you can only use it the moment, only after 1 attack. So you can, well, blow up the enemy board, you can go straight towards his head. The issue though is that, well, you're going to be losing your weapon, but you would always be losing that one, and you always get that free attack in. In any case, we're waiting for the next game to start, as Fizdarth is preparing to battle a friend, and I hope that everybody is currently still enjoying the stream. I'm finishing my cup of coffee here, which is not. It's cold. I need a new cup of coffee. I have some more options though. I of course have a little bit of drink here. So not only coffee in the early stages of the game. So Fizdarth, he's going to be losing his, rather not losing, he's already won with his Druid. He's now switching, not Fizdarth, my bad, it was Dwa1n, who just won with his Rogue, is now switching to his Warrior. And I'm going to be pulling up the overlay right now, so we actually have him here. So, switching to his Warrior, you already see the Execute, we have the Fiery War Axe, Sludge Belcher, Death Bite. Is it going to be warrior control? We see a lot of those warrior decks that go for shield block to work with shield slam as well and go for those big creatures. In this case, it seems to be somewhat similar. It seems to be a defensive deck, and against the druid deck, well, let's see if that is going to make him win this game. Shadow of Naxxramas is very good. It's just going to allow him to sit in the back and just do whatever he pleases. And at the same time get a ticking time bomb. That's really hard to deal with. And, well, if we're looking at the Acolyte of Pain here, does he really want to be using... wait, he has of course the Keeper of the Grove. Sorry about that. To deal with his Acolyte of Pain. Make it silence the Acolyte of Pain, and then just give the turn over back to Dwa1n. Of course, you want to keep your silence for something else, maybe something with taunt, like a Sludge Belcher. On the other hand, if you're looking at this warrior deck, warriors have plenty of ways to deal damage to their minions without actually making them all that worse. So it's kind of curious what Fizdarth wants to be doing here, because if he's attacking with the Shadow of Naxxramas, he's going to be running that one straight into Dwa1n's hands. So yeah, he decides to go for the Naxxramas, drops the low tap actually. He says his opponent is going to be able to actually, oh, he actually chooses to pick up the Death Bite. In this case, instead of the Fiery War Axe. Of course, it deals a little bit more damage, but it also costs a little bit more. You might want to save it for a little bit later for the Death Rattle. And on the other hand, though, he wants to be saving his coin for Dr. Boom, to get Dr. Boom in at the end of turn 6. So yeah, if we're actually looking at the hand of Dwa1n here, he's going to be able to just sit back for now. He has a shield block, of course. He has his armor up, so he can at least get himself 7 life next turn, or 7 armor. Well, in this case, it's pretty much as good as life. Fizdarth, he has Force of Nature. Is going to be saving that one for the Savage Roar, but he doesn't really have much in terms of what he can do, and this is more or less why I would have expected him to use the Keeper of the Grove, because he didn't have all that much in his hands to deal with his opponent. Uh, a final option is of course to Wrath your own low tap actually, to get yourself a card, but in this case looks like Fizdarth is just going to be saving everything for now and hoping that well, his opponent does not have anything special in his hand. And well, if we're looking at his opponent, well, his opponent has quite a lot in his hand actually. He has about 9 cards, which is quite a bit. His Winter's Bite is going to be taking out the low tap, courtesy of the Death Rattle effect, and Sludge Belcher is going to be shoring up Dwa1n's defenses. So for Fizdarth, things are looking a little bit less than optimal, that's for certain. And I would imagine that he's going to be dropping the... is he going to be drawing a card from this one? I would expect it. Yes, he is going to be drawing a card. Maybe dropping his own Sludge Belcher right now. Other option, of course, which is not all that bad to be honest, is dropping Keeper of the Grove and silencing the Sludge Belcher and making sure that that one isn't going to be going anywhere. In this case, though, Fizdarth is just going to be, well, dropping the Sludge Belcher. Actually, we have Baron Geddon. At the end of the turn, deal 2 damage to all other characters, including yourself. So Dr. Boom now coming out. It's actually pretty good, to be honest. Baron Geddon plus Dr. Boom just blowing up all of your small guys. I would say it's not all that bad. And given the fact that Fizdarth is still on 30 hit points, he can actually go for the Ancient of Lore into making sure that he will draw himself some additional cards to deal with his opponent right now. A few more options that he has is Keeper of the Grove, silence the Sludge Belcher, and then swipe his board. But that runs the risk of actually dying to the Boombot, or at least losing his Sludge Belcher to the Boombot. On the other hand, well, it is a very fine setup, to be honest. He is already, well, practically he's on 31 hit points. And, well, he's looking to go for what's... Okay, he's actually going to go for the swipe on Dr. Boom. That's also not a bad choice, per se. But it does make it a little bit risky for Fizdarth here, especially with the boom bots. Actually, the boom bots both onto the Sludge Belcher, so things worked out a little bit better. He's going to be dropping his Kazal Mystic just to get some damage in, saving his utility spells for a little bit later. And Dwa1n with the Fury War Axe is going to be clearing out this slime here and allowing Dr. Boom actually to go straight for the head. So yeah, that's quite a bit of damage there onto Fizdarth, who was pretty much safe all game long. But finally, Dwa1n getting to the point where he is going to be the more powerful of the 2 decks. Of course, a Druid Ram deck is really good, especially if you get those innovates down, especially if you get that advantage early. The issue though, if you're dealing with a Warrior, well, you can already see he's just going to be dropping big spell after big spell after big spell. Plus, he's going to be getting tons of armor from, for instance, his shield block and his heroic passive. So what Fizdarth can do is perhaps, well, try and take out the Sludge Belcher here. But the biggest issue that he's going to be running into is the slimes that are actually coming out of that one. So Innovate now also being popped here. I'm expecting the Kazal Mystic to actually attack the 1/2 slime, just to make sure that Dwa1n has nothing on the board here. And well, Dwa1n doesn't really care about that. He has Grommash Hellscream, which basically says, okay, I'm going to be smacking your face up. and there's nothing you can do about it. For instance, Grommash attacking the keeper takes that one out, makes Grommash 10-8, and then the Fiery War Axe can take out the Kazan Mystic. And in that way, Dwa1n is in a pretty good position. The issue though is that Fizdarth, with his Force of Nature, he has those available. Savage Roar is also pretty near, because he's already down to 18 cards, so he's going to be drawing one of his 2 Savage Roars pretty soon. And Savage Roar plus Force of Nature is 14 damage. In this case though, Dwa1n opting to go for the shield block, just going to shore up his defenses a little bit more and get himself some additional cards here. Actually he has a shield slam, so could theoretically take out this 2-4 here. And then the Fiery War Axe can actually take out the Kazan Mystic. Right, so 16 life, nothing on the board. Fizdarth is going to need to get himself some power on the board. So he's going to need to draw himself 2 cards, I would surmise, with the Ancient of Lore, following it up with the Shade of Naxxramas, which, well, Dwa1n can't touch. And that would give him the chance next turn to finish the game, depending on what Dwa1n does. So apparently people are also asking for Waning Moon. To be honest, where's Waning Moon? Waning Moon is on the other side of the bracket if I'm not mistaken. In the meantime though, Baron Geddon coming into play, and this is really good. We were talking about Baron Geddon, I was saying you can't touch the Shade of Naxxramas. Issue though is that, well, because Baron Geddon does not target, he can actually deal damage to that one. But a nice draw here for Fizdarth. He's going to be picking up the big game hunter to take out Baron Geddon and Sylvanas Windrunner to well, shore up his line of attack. 14 cards remaining, and in those cards, that's an Alexstrasza. That's not too shabby. That's going to maybe save Dwa1n's life. Who knows? In any case, Shield Maiden is going to give Dwa1n a lot of armor. Going to be bringing him back up to 21. Plus, of course, his shield, which is going to be bringing him up to 23 effective health. And Dwa1n still considering what does he want to be picking up here? What does he want to be dropping onto the battlefield? There are a lot of options in this game, but I would assume Shield Maiden wouldn't be too bad. Would be a decent call. Fiery War Axe, Shield Maiden, and then see what happens, see what comes of it. That way Dwa1n gets himself some defenses, and Fizdarth cannot kill him even with the Savage Roar if he draws that one from the top. So Fiery War Axe, attacking the 4-2, taking out the big game hunter, then dropping the Shield Maiden, and using his passive to get an additional 7 armor, bringing him up to 19. It's not all that bad. Actually, very, very good. And Ancient of Lore once again. Well, Fizdarth, he has to consider, well, how low can I go? In this case, it's decent, but he wants to make sure that he doesn't go down. So scenarios with 2 taunt minions is going to be more than enough. And Sylvanas Windrunner going straight for her opponent's face, and well, it's not the worst, but you could have gone for the Shield Maiden and taken that one out in this case. And because of Sylvanas still being there, well, you can actually see that there's not going to be a Grommash just yet. And this is also a very nice combo here with the Cruel Taskmaster and the Execute. So you just take out one of your opponent's minions. And we're actually looking here at Fizdarth. Well, he has the Wild Growth, so he can actually get himself an additional card if he wants to. Although Ancient of Lore is probably better in this situation. Sylvanas attacking the Shield Maiden, maybe hopefully taking the Armor Smith. That's probably the best bet for Fizdarth. But his opponent actually still has that Grommash Hellscream in his hand. Dwa1n is already setting up for the next turn. He knows exactly what he wants. He wants to be dropping Grommash onto the battlefield after Sylvanas dies. and then going all in. I'm actually looking at what the possibilities are for Fizdarth, but he's going to need a Savage Roar if he wants to win this game. Get the Savage Roar down, and then maybe win the game from that point on. So, let's see what he's going to be bringing to the table. Wrath as well. That actually makes it pretty easy. Wrath, the Cruel Taskmaster. Attack the Shield Maiden. And gain control of the Armorsmith. It seems like a very valid setup here for this turn. Okay, that's also a possibility, going straight to the face. Just telling Dwa1n, okay, you'll have one turn. Good luck. Let's see how that one, how that will work for this turn. That's also very valid possibility. You saw Fizdarth, he was thinking about, do I want to go for Wrath or do I not want to go for Wrath? In this case, though, it was a very smart choice, in my opinion, because, well, it keeps him out of Force of Nature range. And then Dwa1n can finally drop Ragnaros the Firelord. Or, well, maybe it's better to drop Alexstrasza on himself, bringing him out of Force of Nature Savage Roar range. In this case, though, there are 10 cards remaining. There's still Force of Nature. And if Ragnaros actually attacks this Agent of Lore, that would be the best for Dwa1n. Well, it actually does. But if there's now going to be any form of Savage Roar combo, Dwa1n is dead. That's basically what it boils down to. So Pilot the Shredder, maybe a Druid of the Claw, or a Wildgrowth. Wildgrowth is also not really a bad decision right now. There are only 9 cards in the rest of his deck. I'm expecting there to be another Force of Nature and there to be another Savage Roar. So getting cards is definitely not bad. Will that be enough though? Will that be enough? Well, Druid of the Claw also coming into play here. It's going to be an aggressive Druid of the Claw. It is going to be an aggressive Druid of the Claw, which means that Grommash next turn is going to be able to deal quite a bit of damage to Fizdarth. And Alexstrasza is just going to be used to reset some health back to 15. Right, so Fizdarth, well, taking 8 from Ragnaros. If this is a Savage Roar, it's game. This is game. Savage Roar, Force of Nature, well played. And this is exactly what Dwa1n had to be very careful of during the entirety of this bout. One thing he could have done differently was, instead of going for Ragnaros the Firelord, going for Grommash Hellscream, but that wouldn't have changed anything, and Fizdarth is going to be picking up game number 2 in this best of 5 series. And that means we're going to be going into game number 3 as well, with the Druid and the... but the Druid's currently gone, so let's see how that one is going to be playing out. Right, so Fizdarth is ready to get himself into the next game. Where did he go? So he still has a lock, he still has his Hunter, but not his Druid anymore. His opponent, of course, we saw him before. Dwa1n had already played with his Warrior deck, with his Rogue deck, and now has the option to go either Warrior or Mage. So we have a Hunter, a Warlock for Fitz, and of course we have the Mage and the Warrior that we just saw coming out of Dwa1n. And we're waiting for the next game to start. It's taking a little bit longer than we would have hoped, but I hope that you're enjoying the stream. And do note, I am actually reading the chat, so I hope that you guys are enjoying the stream as much as I am. In the meantime, though, we're heading into the third game. Oh, that's the wrong button. I need to hit that button. There we go. Third game in this Battle 3. We have Dwa1n playing the Warrior once again, and this time it's Fizdarth playing the Hunter. I would imagine that Fizdarth is going to be tossing out his entire hand, actually. It was at least considering low tap, but he's going to be tossing out his entire hand. Yeah, he's playing the aggressive Hunter deck that we saw previous match, so he needs that 2-drop, he needs those aggressive moves. On the other hand, he's playing against against the mid-range control Warrior deck, and well, the Cruel Taskmasters are very effective with dealing with all these small minions that the Hunter deck is famous for. Shield block also one giant block in, rather giant speed bump for the deck of Fizdarth. Death Bite as well. Brawl even is also pretty horrendous, especially if you have a lot of minions. And actually explode a freezing trap here from the side of Fizdarth just to make sure that the warrior, even if it has some charged creatures, is not going to be doing all that much damage. So Mad Scientist will be joining the battlefield really soon, I would imagine. And Dwa1n already putting up a little bit of aggression here against his Hunter deck, and well, can't really blame him. I mean, he does have the Death Bite ready for the fourth turn if he so desires, or a little bit earlier if he wants to coin it. But if you have to consider the fact that the roles that these two decks are playing, you have to always position yourself into the mindset of who is the beatdown. In this case, the beatdown is Fizdarth, and the beatdown isn't doing all that much at the moment. The beatdown is just sitting there and waiting until he gets his creatures, or minions rather, is not dealing all that much damage to Dwa1n yet, so I would say that it's going to take quite a while before Fizdarth can actually start winning this match. He has 4 mana, so he will be probably popping the Mad Scientist plus the Haunted Creeper. On the other side though, well, using the Knife Juggler here is not really what you want to be doing, so it's... Yes, Excellent, I am a Dutch caster, thank you for not noticing the accent, but yes. For now though, the Cruel Taskmaster going straight back to hand, that's going to cost 2 more, which is actually not all that bad, because now it can come back into play and just take out one of these Spectral Spiders that has been summoned off the back of that, of the not the Death Scuttler, the Haunted Creeper actually dying here. For now, Knife Juggler is probably going to be coming into play. However, he does not. He has 2 minions to join it. So Mad Scientist, if it actually hits the, if they both hit this Cruel Taskmaster, it would be really good. It actually hits the Cruel Taskmaster twice, so Dwa1n will be able to, well, will be without a board position once again. So Brawl coming out, that's going to be clearing out the board. Does he really want to do that right now? Well, he has the shield block that he also could deal with, but first, just a Brawl, see what comes out of it. Hopefully it's the Spectral Spider that will survive. And it is a Spectral Spider that will survive. So for Dwa1n, the RNG worked out wonders. Strikebelster going to come out for Fizdarth, shoring up his defenses and being an all-around good creature, and Web Spinner, just in case that Dwa1n wants to go onto the counter-offensive in terms of, well, the Cruel Taskmaster and of course the Death Bite. To be honest, what you could see here right now is of course taking out the Sludge Belcher and the Cruel Taskmaster taking it out with the additional damage. It's going to give him a slime, so 3 damage now on the side of Fizdarth. But other than that, Fizdarth will be forced to take down Dwa1n as low as possible. Fizdarth with the Web Spinner just looking to get a good minion, and he gets King Crush! That's an amazing minion to get into your hands. That's 8 damage right into the face of Dwa1n, and Dwa1n will most likely not see that one coming, especially if you combine it with Unleash the Hounds. Once Dwa1n starts setting up his defenses as well. In this case though, he's going to be using Unleash the Hounds just to get rid of the Cruel Taskmaster, I would assume. And that will allow Fizdarth to actually drop his Mad Scientist and his heroic ability on Dwa1n's face. In the meantime though, Dwa1n with the Acolyte of Pain, well, that means that we're probably going to be seeing a attack from Dwa1n straight onto the slime. Going to pop the Death Bite. That's also going to be giving him a card, going to give him armor as well. And he has a coins, but opts not to use it just yet. Just going to be armoring it up a little bit more. And Fizdarth now hitting the 8 mana. 1 more for King Crush. That one is going to be coming crushing down on Dwa1n's head. Where Fizdarth is going to be sending the Mad Scientist though, I would imagine just straight to the face. Straight to the face is not all that bad. and you can actually follow that up with Pilot the Shredder, Iron Beak Owl, and a heroic ability to the face. That would put him on 13, and with 16 damage, plus of course the heroic ability, which you can't use, but 16 damage available for Fizdarth's next turn, depending on what is being used by Dwa1n. That's going to put him at nearly lethal. Shield block is of course there, you have the shield slam as well. But in this case, whether or not, it's going to come down to how much damage is Fizdarth going to be doing to the armor of Dwa1n in this case. Oh, I just saw it. It's 1-1. Apparently it's 1-1. My honest apologies. Apparently it didn't change. That's my bad, but yes, silence of course onto the armor smith, making sure that that one isn't going to be doing all that much. They're going to be able to take down the mad scientist here. However, freezing trap is going to be sending that one straight back to hand. That's going to be costing 2 more, but that means that he can just replay it if he so desires. First shield block, then armor smith. Those are possible plays. Such Belcher is definitely what the doctor orders, so shield block first is even better. And now this Aglet of Pain can actually just take down one of these minions from Fizdarth, and Fizdarth will have to be playing King Crush. Well, does he want to play King Crush this turn? It's not a bad choice, to be honest, but he wants to be maximizing his mana efficiency, so dropping the Savannah Highmane plus dropping the Steady Shot is also not a bad idea. Another option is to first attack, see what you get out of your secrets, see what you get out of your Pilot the Shredder, and then decide whether you want to be dropping King Crush or the Savannah Highmane. That's also a very possible way of play. But King Crush now coming into the battlefield. It's actually going to be taking out the Sludge Belcher immediately, and we'll most likely see the Mad Scientist taking out the Slime. That's going to give the secret over to Fizdarth. Let's see what he's going to get. We don't see the secret just yet, but there's no secret remaining in Fizdarth's deck. So there's no secret here, and that means that the Mad Scientist isn't going to be as effective as it would be. So, Eagle Hornbow and the Savannah Highmane now in the hand of Fizdarth. He's on 27, so he's relatively safe. But he's going to have to start dealing damage, because he's going to be running out of cards, especially compared to the hand of Dwa1n. With only 2 cards remaining, at least currently in his hand, he of course has over 16 cards in his deck to help him a little bit, but given the amount of playable cards right now, he's going to have to go straight to the face. Pilot the Shredder plus the heroic ability is going to be taking down Dwa1n to 13, and then the Savannah Highmane is going to be adding onto that pressure, because Dwa1n will be trading off his creatures most likely against, rather minions, against Fizdarth's minions, and yeah, that means the Savannah Highmane would not be a very bad decision. Maybe he wants to save the Eagle Hornbow. Opts not to. Okay, that's also a possibility, going for the Eagle Hornbow right now. That's going to be making him lose 1 turn of heroic abilities. But for looking at Dwa1n, dropping the Armor Smith, that means that he's going to be setting up for the trade. He's going to be trading away his minions against those of Fizdarth. That's going to give him 4 armor. Going to give him 4 armor, I would surmise. And to add to that, oh, he gets some Murloc out of that. That's not really all that effective, but attacking with the Big Game Hunter onto the Savannah Highmane is also possible. But he opts to instead use the Shield Slam for it. That's pretty much, yeah, that's a better strategy, because it does not force you to lose your Big Game Hunter without taking out the Murloc as well. So in the end, everything works out quite similar. And Fizdarth, well, he has 7 power, 9 power, 9 damage worth on the board. He has an Eagle Horn bow for the turn after. So I would imagine that Fizdarth is going to go straight to the face of Dwa1n. but he can't really leave those shields, the shield forges alone, because those are going to be giving more and more armor. That means that Fizdarth can't finish the game off. And Dwa1n now in a pretty decent position, even if Fizdarth were to draw another King Crush, which I doubt is in his deck. Things are pretty much looking well, clear cut here for Dwa1n, who's going to be most likely taking game 3 home. So first Fizdarth opting to take out the armor smith here. At least he's hovering over it. He's still thinking about it. What does he want to do? Going for the armor smith is going to make his life even more miserable, because that's going to give 2 armor for free attack, which means that he's now back up to 22, and that's pretty humongous. The advantage, though, that he does have off the back of this one is that he is able to clear out the board. He still has 22 life available, but his opponent drawing Grommash Hellscream, that might be exactly what he's going to be dropping onto the battlefield. Going to get himself a 10-7 Grommash. And we all know, don't mess with the Grommash. That's always a very bad thing to do. And Fizdarth now, without any form of cards in his hand, well, he has the Houndmaster, but he doesn't have any beasts to make him stronger. Things are looking like they are game over for Fizdarth, because Dwa1n can now completely ignore him and just go straight to the face. For those saying the Highmane is less mana efficient, yeah, that's about 3 minutes ago. I would like to think about that later on, so we'll get to that a little bit later. And this is pretty much GG right there. Sledgebelcher is going to get taken out, and Fizdarth concedes game number 3. Alright, so we are going to be going into game number 4 in this best of 5 match between Dwa1n and Fizdarth. And in the meantime, I'm going to get myself fix the overlay for the next one. So apparently it didn't save the overlay. That's pretty neat. There we go. Apply changes. There we go. Now it should have saved it. And again, Fizdarth going to be playing with his Hunter deck. And Dwa1n opting to go for the Mage. And this time we saw the Mech Mage. Mech Mage was the is the one that we saw coming out of the... What was his name again? I forgot his name. Let me actually look that one up. We saw that coming out of Silent Storm and Super Band, if I'm not mistaken. We saw it there. No, it was Silent Storm. Silent Storm was running the Mech Mage. In this case, though, we're looking at the Freeze Mage coming out of Dwa1n. Of course, he has the Loot Hoarder, which is not all that bad. But if you're dealing with a Hunter, so Freeze Mage should have a pretty good matchup against the Hunter deck, at least in from what I've seen so far, especially because it's so good at stopping all the assaults that the Hunter deck might have, because they all have such low toughness. Means that stuff like Blizzard is just incredible, and of course Blizzard making this game, well, should always be a very good spell. In the meantime, though, Fizdarth, he has the explosive, he has the freezing trap, can drop that one, but I would he could have also of course gone for his heroic ability, but freezing trap is going to keep him a little bit alive a little bit longer. And the turn 1 Loot Hoarder from Dwa1n is always good. So Dwa1n most likely going to be running that one faced first. Well, actually, he knows that the Hunter deck does not have any other traps than the freezing trap, because he saw that last game. Last game, the Mad Scientist could not get a trap from the deck after 2 freezing traps had been used. So is Dwa1n going to be taking care of his freezing trap right now, or is he just going to be, yeah, he's going straight in. Okay. Valid option. Taking out the trap before it becomes annoying, but knowing that the trap is there and knowing that it will have to go one time, better to take it out immediately rather than to sit there. Let's see. I see people coming at talking about the MTG styles of decks, but let's not let's not go that way just yet. I do see what you mean. Control Warrior is all about just placing shields in front of him, making sure that he gets himself armored up so much that your opponent cannot get through, and eventually you just grind out your opponent. Whereas Fizdarth with his aggro deck is really weak to those kinds of decks, because those want to go straight to the face all the time. And well, especially considering the fact that he's now playing against a freeze mage, which is all about board control. I would say Fizdarth has a pretty bad matchup against a deck like this. So for now, Fizdarth just going to be dropping the Mad Scientist into play and just slowly but surely whittling down Dwa1n's hit points. It's just going to take some time, but in the meantime, it's going to be an Acolyte of Pain or Loot Hoarder. Yeah, Loot Hoarder now back into the battlefield just to be a little bit more mana efficient. When I say mana efficient, I mean that you're using as much of your mana per turn as possible, and that's a big thing. Resource management in the game. You have to make your series of plays, time it out properly, so you never have a turn where you lack mana. So, for instance, if we're looking at Fizdarth's hand right now, he can go Eagle Tornbow and maybe silence his opponent. For instance, with the Iron Beak, what was it called, Iron Beak Owl. Or he can go for Eagle Hornbow, and the steady shot to just deal 7 damage to his opponent. And both of them are pretty mana efficient. And the advantage is, of course, that if you are able to just if you can make sure that your heroic ability is used as much as possible, you can save your other cards in your hand in order to get hand advantage. Actually, Dwa1n. Okay, he didn't go over max size, so he's just going to be dropping his Ice Block. And is he going to be dropping the Doomsayer? Yes, he's going to be dropping the Doomsayer as well, in order to be as mana efficient as possible. And so most likely just either drawing a lot of attention. Well, there's actually an option here. Iron Beak Owl onto the Doomsayer. That's actually a very valid option, just to force Dwa1n's hand. And then he has a 0/7, which he can't do anything with, because the mage deck does not have any. I believe the mage deck does not have any power enhancing or other attack enhancing creatures or spells in its deck. So yeah, Fizdarth, just considering this, Iron Beak Owl, I would say, is a very valid option here. Just placing that one down, make sure that he always has it as a creature that you can rather a minion that you can completely ignore, is an additional damage for Unleash the Hounds, of course. The other option, which is really bad in my opinion, is dropping the Savannah Highmane. Of course, it will give you 2 hyenas, but it runs you right into the Doomsayer, and that's not something you want to be doing. So, if you want to do anything at all, silence the Doomsayer, and, well, in this case, he actually wants to get those hyenas out. Interesting choice here. I would not have done that. Reasoning being that you could have saved your Savannah Highmane a little bit longer, and especially given the fact that your opponent most likely has something like Flame Strike, like Blizzard. You want things that survive a little bit longer than 1 turn. And in this case, well, because of the fact that he dropped the Savannah Highmane there immediately, he's going to be running onto that. So now he's going to be dropping his Savannah Highmane and the Web Spinner for maximum efficiency, of course. But yeah, it's a little bit curious. That's to say the least. Let's see what he has in hand. He has the Pyroblast, Archmage, Antonidas, Ice Lance. He does have a Flame Strike ready, but that's not going to be useful at this point. Frost Nova to freeze all enemy minions, maybe follow it up with an Ice Lance onto the Savannah Highmane. Actually, saving the Ice Lance for a little bit longer here. So yeah, I would definitely say that the mage has a very good chance to win, but has to be careful as well. Has to be a little bit careful that he or she doesn't go too low and Hopefully for Fizdarth, he's of course looking to take him down as fast as he can. He has the Iron Beak Owl, so he could theoretically silence the Acolyte of Pain in order to make sure that it doesn't draw any cards for Dwa1n. The other issue though is that he has to play around Flame Strike now because of the fact that Dwa1n is at 8 mana. He has to play around Frost Nova plus Doomsayer combos, etc, etc. Another option is of course just going straight to the face of Dwa1n, rather straight to the Acolyte of Pain's face, but that's not really what you want to be doing. You don't want to be giving him that many cards, so I would imagine going for Dwa1n's face and then silencing the... That's pretty much the best option you're going to get. Going for the face and then silencing your opponent. So, steady shots. He's just dropping another minion. Okay, so Flame Strike becomes better and better every single passing turn. And let's see, what are the options in this case? Yeah, that's kind of my thing right now. If he actually opted to go for the Ice Blast last turn to take out the Savannah Highmane to 1, then he could have used his Acolyte of Pain to attack the Savannah Highmane and then subsequently use Flame Strike on whatever was left on the board. A bit curious on the decision making behind that. I would love to hear what he thinks about that. So Ice Barrier to get some additional shielding up here for Dwa1n. Ice lands onto the... Actually, does he want... He wants the Ice lands here. Okay, that's an interesting choice. Bloodmage Talnos is not all that bad, but... Okay, well, let's just see how this one plays out. So, we have Unleash the Hounds on the side of Fizdarth. That's going to give him 4 damage because of the Knife Juggler as well. And yeah, it looks like Dwa1n is trying to force Fizdarth, maybe force Fizdarth into an overextension here. A little bit confused on how that would work out. So yeah, again, of course there is the Alexstrasza next turn from Dwa1n. That's also a thing. And then following it up with a Pyroblast, also not that bad to be honest. And this was also not all too good for Fizdarth. He would have probably hoped that one of those knives would have gone straight into Bloodmage Talnos. Let's see if this one is going to go down. There we go. Finally taking out the Bloodmage Talnos. Going to give him the Cone of Cold. And finally the Acolyte of Pain is going to go down as well. So actually his hero is going to be attacked, so that's going to give him 8 armor. Going to bring him up to 24. But his opponent is going to be losing, well, he's going to be taking down 5 hit points from that one attack, plus of course the 2 damage from the heroic ability. That Scientist coming into play. Let's see how Dwa1n will be dealing with this setback. Well, setback. He's thinking about Arcane Intellect. I don't like it. I would say go for Flame Strike and make sure that this one doesn't attack a turn and gives you another turn. But apparently, oh well, that's better. Freezing Frost Nova, not all that bad to be honest. Frost Nova Icelands. We'll find a way to Frost Nova Icelands. Take that one down. 1 damage onto this one, and that's not a bad idea per se, to be honest. Also, young Dragonhawk coming out of the spider. I'm a little bit concerned on how that would work. Okay, so first Cone of Cold. I'm burning one of his heroes down. Okay, so he's going to be saving Frost Nova for another turn. Apparently my overlay is blinking around a little bit. So now a little bit more damage here, but this is all working perfectly for Dwa1n. He's going to get himself a nice Flame Strike here. But Dwa1n is still just sitting back for now. I would imagine that Dwa1n is going to be dropping the Well, he can go Flame Strike Frost Nova here. That's not that shabby, to be honest. Or drop the Alexstrasza. That's also not too bad. It kind of depends on what Fizdarth is looking to take. Okay, so Fizdarth is just going to be relying on his freezing trap. With Archmage Antonidas onto the battlefield, whenever you cast a spell, add a fireball spell to your hand. Okay, that. I guess that would work, especially if you combine it with Frost Nova. That would definitely work. But I would first say drop the Alexstrasza, drop the Ice Block, and go to town, because I'm not really a big fan of this play. I'm really not a big fan of this line of play. Reason being, of course, that, well, this line of play does not put Dwa1n at an... does not clear the board on the side of Fizdarth, and, well, the only thing Fizdarth has left is his heroic ability at this point. So, unleash the Hounds. That's going to be revealing, of course, the trick that Dwa1n had up his sleeve. Hunter power onto Dwa1n. Just going to be depending on what Fizdarth does. If he does, yeah, he's going to be using the hero power first and then the attack, and that's a lot better than doing the other way around, because of the fact that, well, else the damage would be prevented and he would become immune for the turn a little bit earlier. So Iron Beak Owl now also bringing that one to the battlefield. A little bit curious on how this is going to be played out for Dwa1n here, because right now he has pretty much dug himself into the grave. No, he has an option. He has an option. No, he doesn't. He can't play Flame Strike anymore because of the fact that there's a Knife Juggler in. Oh no, that would work. Yes, it would work. Flame Strike into Ice Block. That would work. And that is his saving grace. Flame Strike into Ice Block into Alexstrasza next turn into freeze whatever is on the board for him. So yeah, it's a little bit curious on what Dwa1n is trying to play out here, but Flame Strike Frost Nova would have worked, at least against the small. That was a little bit earlier. Ice Block now coming out as well. Is he going to attack with Archmage Antonidas? That's going to be triggering the Freezing Trap. I'm 100% sure of that. Yes, so that triggers the Freezing Trap. It's going to be sending that one back to hand. And Fizdarth is just going to be dropping everything he has onto the board. Which is not bad, to be honest. And that's going to do the second streak crit, Ice Block, so he's not going to go down at this point. Can he actually win with a Alexstrasza, I wonder? Okay, so we have another Blizzard coming out, but he needs to pop Alexstrasza, and I would say Iceland's the well, that's the only thing he can do. He has to Iceland's the Pilot the Shredder, and in this case, he's in a very bad position because he's never going to be able to get through this, I would imagine. Of course, let's see, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 damage. He's going down to 8. Yeah. And Dwa1n is going to need 2 turns to kill Fizdarth, so he's going to be 1 turn late. He is going to be 1 turn late. That's the biggest issue that Dwa1n is going to be running into. He's going to need something like another Frost Nova or something like a Blizzard to survive. Is this a Blizzard? Okay, this is a Blizzard. Okay, he can survive another turn then. He can survive. That's his advantage that he has. Although, no, can he actually survive? He's going to... if he casts Blizzard right now, then it's going to freeze everything. It's going to summon 2 Spectral Spiders. Let's see. And then Alexstrasza is going to be attacking for 8. So that's going to bring him down to 19. Such spells are coming into play. He's not going down next turn because of the fact that the Such Belcher now has entered the battlefield. Ice Block is going to bring him up to 14, 13, 12, 10. It's going to come down to what he draws next turn, I would imagine. So yeah, the issue is basically that he's been losing out a little bit because of that high main. He could have killed it a little bit earlier. Now Xrasa has to attack that target, but he doesn't really want to go for that one. That's the issue. Yeah, so options. Let's see. Let's look at some of the options. Of course, he has the Frostbolt. He's out of Ice Block. He's out of Ice Barrier. He has the Frostbolts. He has the Fireballs. He has his own Fire Blast. Let's see, what can he do to reduce as much of the damage but survive as long as he can? First, take out one of these Shredders. That's the first thing he needs to do. Just like the turtles, take out Shredder. And let's see what he also has a Novice Engineer, so nothing special. Antonidas is nice, but not really ultimate. So, okay, so Fire Blast on one of the Shredders. That makes sense. He was going to do that anyhow. This is, I believe, additional spell damage. No, spell damage. Spell cost -1. He's going to have to be forced to use his Frostbolts here, just to play it defensively. Get a card. Frostbolt the Shredder, I imagine. Or no, he's going to be Fireballing the Shredder, and he's going to be Frostbolting the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Okay. And Fizdarth gets himself another Taunt and another Sludge Belcher. So it's now just a race. Who can kill the other one first? And it looks like Fizdarth is going to be winning this race here, pretty easily as well. Let's see, what are the options that he has? Well, this is 7 damage to the face, in conjunction, of course, with the heroic ability, which means that Dwa1n has 2 turns. He has 3 cards, so he's going to be running out of cards pretty soon. He's going to be fatiguing very soon as well. What does Dwa1n need to do? Well, if you drop the Sludge Belcher, it pretty much seals the deal right there. Dwa1n has used his 2 Blizzards, he has used his 2 Frost Novas. He could have another Flame Strike in his deck. Not entirely sure if that's the case. But things aren't looking all that good for Dwa1n here. Dwa1n, what else does he have? Cone of Cold is a possibility that he still has one of those. He has a Doomsayer, but yeah, the Doomsayer isn't going to be effective. So I think this is game. Let's see, can he actually get there? Well, he can take out this guy, use Frostbolt, the Fire Blast to take out these 2, bring himself to he can go to 1, and then he's still dead. That's the issue. He can save himself to 1. Is that, no? He can't save himself. Yes. Yeah, that's 4 damage on the board. So that's rip in pepperonis. That means that Fizdarth is going to be winning with his Hunter deck. That means that he only has his Warlock deck remaining. For now, though, finally, Animal Companion is there. Which means that Dwa1n might actually just go down to... No, he's going down to the hero power. Okay, he's not... the Fizdarth isn't making it that bad. That's... he's going to be taking it out with one of those mini spiders, so it's not all that bad. That means we're going into a game 5. That's, again, a game 5 between these 2 heroes. Mage only available for... not for Fizdarth, for... I'm so bad with names. For Dwa1n, and Fizdarth, of course, only having, I believe, his Paladin deck remaining against the Freeze deck. Alright, so we're going to be jumping into the next game. They're playing the band right now as we speak, as we're going into the mulligan phase. Game number 5 between these 2 players. Dwa1n playing the Mage, we have Fizdarth playing the Warlock. Of course, yeah, the Warlock, not the Paladin. Paladin was Silent Storm. I need to update my notes again. I have so many notes here. Right, so let's get this game rolling. We have Ironbeak Owl, Sylvanas, Shadowflame in hand. I would imagine that he's going to be trading them all in for different cards. He needs to get something that's a little bit more aggressive against the well, very slow freezing mage deck. So Dwa1n having double Doomsayer, that's not all that bad. It's going to make sure that Fizdarth can't really do anything for the upcoming 4 turns. And on the other hand, that's not really what Fizdarth is looking for. He's just going to be live tapping all the time just to get himself as many cards as he can. And Dwa1n, he's just going to say, okay, well, here's a mad scientist, deal with it. It's going to be really hard for Fizdarth as a Warlock to deal with the power that Dwa1n has right now. So, Fizdarth most likely going to live tap again, just to get himself to the point where he can play that Twilight Drake actually, to go in. The other option, of course, from Ironbeak Owl, especially since he saw and Ice Block and Ice Barrier last game, which are standard freeze mage secrets, does not want that one to come into play or into the calculations. And Dwa1n, he will be just fine with burning down at Owl and going straight to the face. Twilight Drake for 7. It's not going to be dying all that easily, especially not to to the burn spells coming out of the freezing mage deck. But freeze mage is just as happy with just dropping the Doomsayer. Good luck with that. Fizdarth going to be taken down to 24, and the Doomsayer is going to be taking out whatever is still on the board after the attack from the Twilight Drake. So Twilight Drake most likely going to the face, and Fizdarth is going to be most likely live tapping here. He doesn't want to play Sludge Spells here. He doesn't want to be playing anything at all. So let's see what Dwa1n has to offer in his next turn. Of course, he has the Ice Block. He's going to be setting that one up as soon as he feels the need for it. Ice Block and Ice Barrier, by the way. So Mad Scientist going into the battlefield immediately, following that one up with a Ice Barrier. And Dwa1n has already shored up his defenses for the upcoming turns. Fizdarth, on the other hand, well, he's going to be the one who needs to make the plays happen. He's the beatdown. He's going to be dropping his Sludge Belcher, which is pretty good. Anything that brings a new minion into play after getting destroyed is good against the freezing mage deck. Actually need to keep my TV on for now. So Doomsayer once again, Dwa1n is hovering over it. It's curious that he wants to be playing it right now. I would imagine that he is going to be saving it a little bit longer against Fizdarth, who currently has nothing on the board except for that Sludge Belcher. I would definitely say just to save it and maybe drop the Ice Block as a secret on the side of Dwa1n, just to be as efficient with your mana as you can be, just making sure that you have everything available at any point. And Doomsayer going in right now, I would not recommend it. Okay, so he also decides to save one of his. He also decides to save his Ice Block against Fizdarth right now. So he's just going to get 8 armor back. Means that he's going to be taking 3 damage from that attack. 5 armor remaining on Dwa1n, putting on nice 31. Harrison Jones coming into play for Fizdarth, and immediately rewarding Dwa1n here, because of the fact that he saved his Doomsayer at least one more turn. Of course, Doomsayer can also go, can now also be attacked by Harrison Jones, etc. I'm a little bit curious what the plan here is for Dwa1n. He has some options, sending the Mad Scientist into destroying the into the Sludge Belcher, then dropping the Doomsayer. For now, just using the Fireball to take out Harrison Jones, which is also a very valid option. Or what does he want to do? What is his plan? His plan is Doomsayer. So what he can do is coin, Fireball, Frostbolt the Sludge Belcher. That's pretty decent. That would also make sure that his Doomsayer is going to be surviving another turn, because now they're just going to be attacking the Doomsayer. That's for certain. That's also going to be saving him 7 damage, so it's not all that bad. Let's see what secret he got. He got an ice barrier. So he still has an ice block to go with his ice barrier, making him even more indestructible for a few turns. And yeah, it's quite a problem. And Dwa1n is falling into a little bit of the same issue that we saw last game, where he left too much on the board and didn't quite deal with it in time. So now Dwa1n will be drawing 2 additional cards. Maybe a Frost Nova within them would be really nice. Ice Lance and Ice Block now also on the side of Dwa1n, who's still waiting for those sweepers to come out. For now though, Fire Blast onto Harrison Jones, that's all he can do, and just waiting until his opponent is going to be dropping something. In this case though, his opponent is going to be dropping the damage, another Ice Barrier coming out, so 8 of the damage is mitigated, meaning that there's only going to be 3 damage in total that will be hitting Dwa1n in the face. And Fizdarth, look at his hand. He's not even going to be playing anything, he's just waiting for the sweep. In the meantime though, Alexstrasza coming onto the boards, bringing a 8 damage to Fizdarth, but oh, this is perfect. This is actually the best that could have happened for Fizdarth. Kel'Thuzad. He can just, if he wants, he can drop Kel'Thuzad. Let's see, does he have anything else that he can use it with? He's a Death Bomb. You could send Harrison Jones into Alexstrasza, send Sludgebelcher into Alexstrasza, send Antique Healbot into Dwa1n, drop Kel'Thuzad, that will bring them back into play, and give him an additional slime as a result as well. So it's really, really good. Other option, Siphon Soul. Take Alexstrasza away and then go all in. Or Big Game Hunter, take Alexstrasza away and just save the Siphon Soul for a little bit longer. But this is also a very possible setup. Maybe even use the life tap to draw a card at the end of the turn. In this case though, Frost Nova is now available on the side of Dwa1n. That's going to give him a few more turns if he so desires. But first, getting some cards. Arcane Intellect, if he gets a Flame Strike out of this one, he gets a Loot Hoarder and he gets a Archmage Antonidas. So I'm expecting Frost Nova to come out, maybe a Loot Hoarder to follow suit. And then he can use his Ice Lances to deal with, well, maybe taking out Harrison Jones right there. Actually deciding to use the Fire Blast. Where it's going straight to the face. Alright, so Dwa1n trying to take Fizdarth down a notch. The issue though is, well, you will have to deal with Kel'Thuzad next turn. And dropping a Kel'Thuzad is not all that bad, to be honest, at this point, because it's really hard to get rid of him, and he hasn't seen any form of removal that actually takes him down in one turn. So, Cone of Cold once again. Archmage Antonidas, dropping him onto the battlefield is a little bit shaky, to be honest. They need to take out Kel'Thuzad, so that would be definitely a fireball to Kel'Thuzad, maybe follow it up with a Frostbolt. But again, Dwa1n leaving so much on the board for Fizdarth, and it's hurting him every single game. The last game, it allowed the Hunter to just do whatever he wanted. This game, it's going to get his Archmage Antonidas killed. Okay, that's also a possibility, just going all in here. 17 damage, let's see. So 6, 12, 15, 18, 22 damage. Okay, he has an Ice Block, so he's going to be surviving one more turn. He has 2 Fireballs right now and a Frostbolt. So depending on what Fizdarth does right now, and is there anything that he can do? Yes, Siphon Soul. He can use Siphon Soul on the Archmage. That's going to be the biggest option that he has. And the Siphon Soul is going to put him right out of reach of the double Fireball Cone of Cold combination. Cone of Cold Frostbolt combination. And that means his game. This means that Fizdarth will survive. There's nothing that Dwa1n can do about it unless he draws another Ice Block. He needs to draw another Ice Block in order to win. That's a saving grace. If he now draws an Ice Block off the top of his library. And he draws a Blizzard. Does that help him? Does he have... Well, there's a Dark Bomb, so that's... it is helping, but it's not finishing him off. And yeah, this is going to be game. Fizdarth just needs to drop the Dark Bomb onto Dwa1n and just saying, well played. And good game. So yeah, Defender of Argus being drawn doesn't really matter anymore. Dark Bomb to the face. Fizdarth. Oh wait, never mind. Blizzard actually took out one of the minions. Correction, didn't take out the big game hunter that came into the battlefield again. So that is game. Very well played here by both of these players. But Fizdarth is going to be the one who advances to the next round. He is, of course, the #1 seed. I think I missed how the big game hunter actually survived that turn. Oh, I understand. I understand what the issue was.